Man, who remembers this monstrosity? Yes, soak it in. I have once again cut my hair, and this time I'm going to keep it short because I just prefer myself with shorter hair now, and I don't have an obsession with long hair anymore. So I'm gonna keep it this way, and I plan to do other stuff with it, but you'll have to keep watching my videos to see what else I do with it. So welcome back to my review of season 21 of Project Runway. We are now going to review episode 2. So at the beginning of episode 2, everyone is still upset that Casey went home. However, Christian comes in and tells them, hey, by the way, you got another challenge. So right after she leaves, he's like, yeah, you got work to do. But before they get into the challenge, Christian congratulates Ethan on his win and tells him that because he won, he has the option, or rather he has the power, to switch someone on his team for someone else on the opposite team. Jesus, who is on the same team as Ethan, says in his confessional that if Ethan were smart, he would switch VJ out for his brother Antonio so that him and his brother could be on the same team. However, in my opinion, that would not be a smart idea because then he'll have a entitled designer and a childish designer both on the same team. Christian tells the designers that this week their challenge is to make a cohesive activewear collection to weekend collection, which basically means that they just have to make an outfit that someone can work out in, but also could wear to the club or like a bar with some friends. But this is not any challenge. This is actually a collab challenge with the activewear Kalia. And the winner of this challenge will have their look produced and sold on the Kalia website. Now, unlike the first challenge, the designers don't go to Mood Fabrics. Instead, fabrics are provided for them through Kalia. And once again, like the first episode, they only have one day to fulfill this challenge. So Ethan decides to swap Jesus for Madeline. So now Jesus and Antonio are on the same team, just not on Ethan's team, and VJ could not be happier. Like last time, the houses have names, so now there is House of Lotus and House of Burn. Joseph McCrae, who is on the House of Lotus, emphasizes the importance of how their collection should be cohesive so that they don't end up in the bottom again. So he and his team are paying close attention to the colors and the theme of their collection. And also, just like last time, Antonio is insisting on the type of printed fabric that they should use for their entire collection. And now that because his brother Jesus is on the team, he's going to back his brother up despite what the rest of the team thinks, which the majority of the team, again, aren't really on board with the type of fabric that Antonio chose again. And Joan, who again is one of my favorites, expresses her distaste for the printed fabric. And Antonio says in his confessional that although he loves Joan, he thinks her reluctance to use the fabric that he chose is due to her being old school and stuck in the past. So what do you mean by that exactly? Joan is the oldest person in this competition. I believe she is 60 years old at the time of when everything was being recorded. And I've seen her designs both outside the competition and inside the competition. So I don't think her reluctance to use the printed fabric is because she's old school. I just think it's because she just doesn't like the fabric, and that's it. I don't think her age or her being stuck in the past has anything to do with it. Skipping ahead a little bit, Christian comes in and does his little walk around, starting with Antonio, who is in the House of Lotus. And when he's talking to him, Antonio, for some reason, decides to attempt to call out Joan for not liking the printed fabric that he chose, I guess in a way to make her look bad. I don't know why he felt the need to tell Christian this. I feel like this was information that was not necessary. However, Christian decides to flip it back onto Antonio. It's like, well, I know you may like the fabric, but does everyone else on your team like the fabric? Does everyone else want to work with this fabric? And Antonio's just quiet. All he can do is laugh because what do you say to that? Because he's basically telling Antonio that you're doing the same exact thing that you did in the first episode. You're telling people that this is the fabric that they're going to use. They don't like it, but you use it anyway. So what are you telling me right now? Again, I try really hard not to make assumptions about people because I don't know who they are off camera, but Antonio and his brother give off high school mean girl vibes. Because genuinely, what was the point in telling Christian that Joan, the one person on your team, doesn't like the printed fabric? I don't see what that has to do with anything. Christian talks to Joseph McCrae next, and Joseph McCrae basically has the entire look done. However, Christian says that compared to his cool jacket, the outfit is very basic and that he needs to put more energy into making the outfit look good and not just the jacket. This time around, Joseph McCrae does heed Christian's advice and decides to incorporate what he said into his outfit. And it's good to know that some people learn from their mistakes, unlike some people. So Christian goes over to the House of Byrne, starting with Alex Foxworth, who is making a sweatsuit set, but the top of the set is a corset. I just want to remind you guys that this challenge is supposed to be workout or active wear to weekend. I don't know about you, okay? I've gone to the gym plenty of times. You know, I've seen what other people wear. I know what I wear. I have never seen someone wear a corset to the gym. I've never seen any companies produce a workout corset. I don't think corsets are what you think of when you think of active wear. Sure, corsets can be structured, but they are not an active piece of clothing. They are not meant for working out. So I don't know why Alex thought it was a good idea to make a corset for a workout challenge. And Christian voices his concern about the corset top, saying that it's not something that people would traditionally wear going to the gym. However, Alex, although hearing his concerns, doesn't change her outfit at all. And the last time someone didn't take Christian's advice, they went home. Yeah, they got eliminated in the first episode. So, again, I don't know why these contestants or these designers don't listen to Christian Siriano. I don't know why they're not listening to their mentor, and they're just doing whatever it is that they want to do. But you know what? I'm not on the show. You know, I'm not them. If they know what's best for them. Next, Christian talks to Angelo Rosa, and he's also making a sweatsuit set. But then Christian notices that Angelo and Alex are basically making the same exact wide-legged sweatpant. And he tells them, hey, do you guys realize that you're making the same pair of pants? And both Alex and Angelo both confess in their confessionals that they don't even know what the rest of their team is even doing, despite the fact that Alex and Angelo are working right in front of each other. I'm sorry. Why do you not know what the rest of your team is doing? Why has no one on the team said, hey, team meeting, let's see what everyone's doing? You mean to tell me that no one's communicating to each other what the other is making? You mean to tell me that no one knows what the other person is making and making sure that no one makes the exact same thing? What kind of teamwork is this? They are a team. They are making a cohesive collection. Why is no one making sure that everything is in order so that something like this doesn't happen? I don't know what's worse, a team that ignores the challenge or a team that has no idea what it's doing. Honestly, both are bad. Jesus in his confessional rightly criticizes the other team for not communicating and being too quiet compared to his team who are communicating and making sure everyone is in sync. I'm not afraid to admit that he's right. They are a team and they should be communicating. Had it not been for Christian, that team would have sent down models with the same exact pair of pants. So it is now time for the model fitting, and Christian goes over to Joseph McCrae and he tells him, that's the top? What woman in their right mind would wear this top to the gym? Again, it is an active wear collection to weekend collection. This is not a workout top. There is no structure or security in this top. And she is a top heavy woman. If she were to go to the gym in this top, she does one jumping jack and she gets hit in the throat. This is not an exercise top. This is a top that you would go to the beach in. So after the model fitting, Ethan is very confident in his look, and I'm also very confident in his look because, spoiler alert, his look was my favorite out of the entire challenge. However, he is concerned with the rest of the teammates on his team, and he's also second guessing himself whether it was a good idea to swap Jesus off his team. And in my opinion, I still think that was a good idea because yes, Jesus is a really good designer. However, his attitude absolutely sucks, and that can bring down the team's morale. So I think it was a good idea to trade him off. I would trade him off. However, if I had to criticize Ethan on one thing, it would be the fact that he did not lead his team. Now, Generally speaking, there is no selected team leader for these challenges, nor was there one in the first episode. However, it's kind of weird how no one on Ethan's team is taking charge. So his concern for the rest of his teammates, I feel like kind of falls on him because he should have led his team in some way, shape, or form, or at least someone else on his team should have taken charge. But no one on that team decided to be the captain, and so now everyone's all over the place. Two people are making the same exact thing, and it could cost them the win. Now, I'm not saying that because Ethan won the last challenge, he should have automatically been the team leader. However, I think he should have guided his team a little bit so that they were all in sync. Because in the first episode, Jesus was kind of the team leader. He wasn't the best team leader because he kind of made decisions that I think were not necessary, but he was kind of the leader. And that did help them win the challenge, in my opinion, even though I don't agree with some of the things that he did. So it is now the day of the runway, but before the models walk, Christian once again voices his concerns for Alex's look. And the worst part about her look is that her pants do not have pockets. I'm sorry. She should have been eliminated right then and there. Because what do you mean your exercise pants don't have pockets? Whenever I go to the gym, my bottoms need to have pockets. Whether I'm wearing leggings, sweatpants, or a workout skirt or a sports skirt, they need to have pockets so I can put my phone and AirPods in them. So the fact that Alex's look does not have pockets is an actual sin. The guest judge joining this episode's panel of judges is the co-founder of the fashion line Favorite Daughter, Sarah Foster. I've never heard of this woman, nor have I heard of this fashion line, and even after looking it up, I'm still not familiar with the name of this company. Now onto the runway, starting with House of Byrne. Angelo Rosa. I do like this look, and I do like the stitching detail on the shorts and on the top of the sweat set. However, this look is very basic and very safe. And that could just be a matter of personal taste because he does say in this episode that he is more of a minimalist designer. However, compared to the rest of the people on his team, his look doesn't really stand out that much. Yushin Ha. I do love this outfit and I love the red in the top and in the skirt. However, the skirt is way too short, especially in the back because the hem is a little bit asymmetrical. So it's shorter on one side than it is on the other side. And usually when there is a skirt that you're going to wear to the gym, usually that skirt has shorts attached to it. And to my knowledge, I don't think Yushin attached shorts to the bottom of this skirt. So if this person were to go to the gym and doing some really intense workouts, it's gonna fly up and you're gonna see everything. So in my opinion, this is not appropriate for the gym, at least not the skirt. The top is fine. Alex Foxworth. Okay. This is not a workout outfit. Again, the corset, no one's wearing a corset to the gym. And the pants, in my opinion, are too baggy and too loose. I have seen people wear sweatpants to the gym. However, they're usually like tapered at the bottom, so there's no like extra fabric. I feel like if I were to wear these pants to the gym and get on the treadmill, I'm gonna accidentally step on the pants and fall off the treadmill. Funny story, that actually did happen to me, and it wasn't because I was wearing wide-legged pants. I was wearing leggings, but I was distracted by something, and somehow I lost my footing, and I fell, but I was still holding on to the handles of the treadmill. So just imagine me holding on for dear life on the handles, trying to catch my footing on the treadmill, but it's moving at a speed where I can't like really get my footing, and so I'm just hanging there, and my fitness trainer was standing next to me, but he didn't notice that I fell because I didn't yell when I fell. I kind of just let it happen, but eventually he did see that I had fallen and he pulled the emergency string. Thankfully, there wasn't a lot of people in the gym. It was practically empty, so it wasn't that embarrassing, but 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Next is Madeline Melephant. Now, I don't like this look. I don't hate it. I don't think it's bad, but something about this look isn't meshing with me well, and I can't really put my finger on why that is. Um, I like the skirt. However, I think the skirt is too form-fitting, and I think that would restrict your movements when doing leg workouts. And also the top that's under the mesh doesn't look like it has any straps. So again, I don't know how that's going to support you when you're working out. Final verdict, I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm indifferent about it. VJ Floresca. This is actually my second favorite look. I love the black and red stripes, and I love the interlacing that she did with the white string. I just really like the look of this dress. With that being said, it is a dress, and the challenge was workout to weekend. This look is just weekend. No one is working out in this. I have not seen a dress that is considered a workout dress ever. I mean, maybe they exist somewhere out there, but to my knowledge, there has never been a dress that is appropriate enough to wear to the gym to work out in. I also find it interesting how Christian never mentioned to VJ that her outfit was not activewear appropriate, because there is a scene when he's walking around the workroom giving his advice to the designers that he talks to VJ, but the only thing that we see is her talking about the interlacing of the string. But he never says that her outfit doesn't fit the challenge. Because if he's going to tell Joseph McCrae that his top was not activewear appropriate, why would he not tell VJ the same thing? Unless the producers edited that part out, I don't see why Christian wouldn't bring up the fact that VJ isn't properly fulfilling the challenge. Ethan Munt. Now, I already said earlier that his look was my favorite out of the entire challenge, and that has not changed. I absolutely love this look. It's so sleek and simple, and the single red stripe going down the side is just chef's kiss. I can see how that can get annoying if you're trying to work out, but out of everyone that I've seen on this team, this look is the most appropriate looking to go to the gym in. And also Angela Rose's, but I like Ethan's over Angelo's. Overall, for the House of Byrne, I think a lot of the designers completely missed the mark and just did not do what was asked of them. Some of them completely just focused on the weekend part and not enough on the athletic part, or they tried to take an outfit that would be considered a weekend outfit and apply it to an athletic look, but it just didn't mesh well. Again, the corset, no one's wearing a corset to the gym, and no one's wearing a dress to the gym, so I think some of these designers just did whatever they wanted to do. Next is House of Lotus, starting with Antonio Estrada. I do like this look, and you can't see it in the image that I'm showing you right now, but there is a thin yellow trim above the seam of the pants before it fans out, and I think that's a cool detail. However, the print, I'm indifferent about the print. I'm not sure why the group went with this print, or rather, I don't know why the Estrada brothers convinced their group that this would be a good print to use, but it's not a bad print. I just think it's too busy. I'm not used to seeing workout clothing having such a busy pattern on them, but maybe they're out there and I just haven't seen them. Also, again, the pants are a tripping hazard. I think they're way too loose, and I think they're not appropriate for the gym. Also, Antonio says that this is a girl that can go to Pilates and then go out for drinks with the girls. I've never done Pilates, but I've seen videos of what happens in a Pilates class, and no woman is wearing these pants to a Pilates class. And also, I'm not sure about the one shoulder strap, because I feel like that's not a secure top for going to the gym in. So maybe I don't like this look. Melania Daly. I actually really like this look. I love the top, and I especially love the skirt, and I love that the pockets or the inside the pocket print is the same print as the top. However, the skirt is not a workout skirt. No one's going to I feel like a broken record. This is not a skirt you're going to the gym in. That's just not appropriate for the gym. It restricts your movement, it's too long, and it's in the way. But other than that, I really like it. I actually might make this skirt one day, because I really do love the skirt. Joan Madison. Joan, you're one of my favorites, and I really do love you, but this is not it. I'm sorry, no one is going to the gym wearing this. This is not a workout look. There is no support in the top. And again, the pants, hazard. They are too wide and too baggy and too loose. I have never seen someone go to the gym wearing loose pants like this. And if they are loose pants, they're probably shorter, or again, they're tapered at the bottom. And also this like over, like, it's not really a coat, but like this like mesh skirt that she has over the entire outfit is also a tripping hazard and just not appropriate for the gym. This is not a workout outfit. This is just the weekend outfit. Oh Lord. Joseph McCrae. No, absolutely not. And if you saw this look in motion when the model's walking down the runway, you can clearly see the top has no support. Her boobs are just bouncing all over the place. You are not going to the gym in a top like this that has no support and all this cleavage just hanging out. That is a clear sign that the top has no support. Also, this is kind of just a personal thing, but I don't like the look of those really tall, baggy hats. I think they look dumb, but I am aware that there are people who can pull it off, and ironically enough, Joseph McCrae is someone that I believe can pull it off really well. However, he gives his model the same style of hat, and I think it doesn't look good on her. It's overall, again, not a workout look, okay? This is not a workout look. That you are not going to the gym in this. This is not appropriate for the gym. Again, I feel like I'm going crazy. Am I missing something? Because I remember the challenge being athletic to weekend or workout to weekend. And so far what I'm seeing, a lot of these designers did not make outfits that are workout worthy. So is there something wrong with me? And last but not least, Jesus Estrada. I like the look from the waist up. I do wish the model opened up the jacket so I could see what the shirt looked like. And at this point, do I have to say anything about the pants? They're too loose, too wide, tripping hazard, not appropriate for the gym. Whatever. And that is the end of the runway. And my issue is the fact that these designers did not seem to do the challenge properly. And I refuse to believe it's because they misunderstood, because it's very black and white. Workout to weekend. Some of these looks are not workout worthy. They're just weekend. And it's like they went for more of like a sporty aesthetic and not so much active workout wear, which was not the challenge. The challenge wasn't to be inspired by athletic wear or to be inspired by street wear. It was to make athletic wear that someone can actually go to the gym in, but also go to a night out with friends. And I feel like some of these designers did not fulfill the athletic part of the challenge. And this is what I mean when I say that this season's contestants have no respect for the challenges that they are given and just ignore what they're told to do. Because VJ, for example, her dress was beautiful, but what about her dress was workout? And Alex Foxworth, who's going to the gym in a corset? I don't know what's happening this season, but these contestants really don't care about the challenges that they are given, and they don't seem to care about following the rules. And by rules, I mean the rules of the challenge, because they just seem to go off to do whatever it is that they want to do. And that's going to be a repeating behavior throughout this season, and it's incredibly infuriating. So House of Lotus is the winner for this episode, and the top 3 designers are Jesus, Belania, and Joseph McCrae. Am I missing something? I agree with Jesus, and I'm a little on the fence with Belania, but Joseph McCrae? That's who you think should be in the top 3? I don't agree, but it is what it is. Everyone else is safe. Heidi does tell Antonio that his look was actually the judge's least favorite. And all I have to say is, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. He gets on my nerves, but I don't agree with that. Out of everyone in that group, his was not the worst. In my opinion, Joseph McCrae's was the worst look, but he's in the top 3, so I guess I don't know what I'm talking about. The judges start with Joseph McCrae's look, and to my surprise, he gets nothing but good critiques and no flaws were mentioned. And then La Roche says that he can see someone working out in this look. Am I being rage baited right now? Why is no one talking about the lack of structure and support in the top? The woman's breasts are practically spilling out of the top. You can't run on a treadmill with this. You can't do jumping jacks. You can't run in this top. You know what? This is personal. They're doing this to me on purpose. They're trying to make me mad on purpose, okay? Anyone with eyes could see that this top is not appropriate to work out in. I don't know what Law is talking about. You cannot see someone working out in this because it is not an appropriate workout outfit.
I need to calm down. Everything's fine.
Amanda.
I'm an adult.
I also just want to throw in Law's reasoning for why he thinks this outfit is considered a workout outfit, and that's because the skirt has shorts under it. Okay, but what about the top? No one ever talks about the top. They talk about the skirt, they talk about the overall look. No one is mentioning how poorly constructed the shirt is for a workout routine. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. I don't know why I'm expecting the judges to finally see the issue in the top after watching this season over and over again. I'm expecting a different response, and I never get it. Okay, my head hurts. Moving on to Melania. She also gets good critiques, most of which I agree with. But after rewatching the episode, I just realized they never mentioned to Melania whether or not they can see someone working out in her outfit. For Joseph McCrae, they said, oh yeah, we can see someone working out in that. But they never mentioned that with Melania. Interesting. Moving on to Jesus, he also gets really good feedback. And earlier I said that his pants were a tripping hazard. However, he demonstrates in front of the judges that his pants actually have like a side zipper, so they can turn into a straight pant or a wide-legged pant. All right, Jesus, I wasn't familiar with your game. I take back everything that I said. I like the outfit even more. Jesus is the winner of this challenge, which means that his outfit will be produced and sold by Kalia. And I agree. I agree that he should have won the challenge, and I'm happy that his outfit gets produced because I actually do want those pants. That's actually a really cool mechanic. Jesus says in his confessional that had Ethan not swapped him for someone else on their team, he possibly could have helped them win. And I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't think he could have saved that team, honestly. Now it is for the House of Losers. Wait, no, House of Burn. Well, I guess they are a House of Losers because they lost a challenge. House of Burn are the losers. But before the judges start critiquing the looks, Law tells Ethan that his team screwed him and that it was his look that the judges liked the most. The judges ask him if he regrets switching out Jesus, and Ethan gives a really admirable answer saying that despite his team losing, he thinks everyone did a good job and that he loves his team and that he takes responsibility for anything that might have gone wrong. However, Law makes a really harsh call out and says that he does not believe what Ethan says. And instead, he says, and I quote, "I don't believe you. I think you know you had a great look and you didn't give an F about the other people on your team." I think this was a very unnecessary call out. I don't believe Ethan gave up on his team like Law is implying. I do think there was a lack of leadership and communication, but I don't think it's fair to say that Ethan was only looking out for himself and just didn't care about anyone else on his team. It was poor management, yes, but I think Law was a little bit too aggressive in his call out. I didn't like how he said that. The bottom designers are Alex Foxworth, Angela Rosa, and VJ Floresca. And I do agree with the bottoms because I do think they had the worst looks. Starting with VJ, she does get good critiques because it is well made. However, like I said earlier, it's not active wear, and that's what landed her in the bottom. Next is Angela Rosa, and they say that his look is also good, but it's just basic and lacks showmanship compared to the rest of the people on his team. And that's kind of what I said earlier. Last is Alex, and they say that her look seemed like there was too many ideas going on. They of course mentioned the corset because, again, who is going to the gym in a corset? And Alex does mention that her main inspo for her look was the Japanese kimono, and she is of Japanese descent and her grandmother is from Japan. And I think basing her design off of the Japanese kimono was her main issue because traditionally speaking, kimonos are worn during summer festivals and formal ceremonies and any other cultural events that are specific to Japanese culture. So trying to take a formal attire and trying to turn it into activewear attire may not be a good idea, and it ended up being a bad idea that had her end up in the bottom and sent home. Yeah, she got eliminated. So that is the end of episode 2. And as a matter of fact, at the time that I'm recording this, it is the 9th of July, and today is actually the premiere of season 22 of Project Runway. And I actually saw the official trailer on their Instagram page, and I saw that Joseph McCrae makes a return. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll see what happens. And maybe I'll do a review of that season as well as it's being aired. Thank you for watching until the end, and if you like what you've seen me so far, feel free to hit the subscribe button and also feel free to hype the video up. I just learned that that's a new thing that you can do on YouTube now, and if you want to be notified whenever there's a new video, you can hit that bell. I will also have my socials linked in my description, and there you can see what videos are up and coming, and stay tuned for episode 3.